Recording live.
Okay, we're recording and live.
I don't see it yet, Cedric.
It's coming slow. It just came in right now. I'm gonna hit go live. See myself, I see you there. Gonna go live now.
Okay, I'm live on my end. You ready?
I'm still buffering up, so.
Okay, we're on now, Cedric. I'm getting ready to go ahead and start. All right, this is Steve and Cedric talking to the band. I'm Steve. What's happening, Cedric?
Hey, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? I'm Cedric Hansard. How y'all doing?
Man, we have a great show prepared for you today.
Ooh,
I'm
yes,
so
baby.
excited about it.
Oh my God.
So if you are listening right now, we want you to call somebody, tag somebody, and text somebody and let them know that Steve and Cedric talking to the band is on live right now. Call somebody, tag somebody, and text somebody. Let them know that we're on. Also, if you've missed previous episodes, go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe to those videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the alert button down below so you can be alerted when we upload new videos. And we want to hear from you. I mean, we want to hear what you think about the show. So please comment down below. Let us know what you think. Cedric, where else can they find us, man?
We're also on Instagram and Twitter at Steve and Cedric talking to the band. That's the number 2. So that's Steve and Cedric, the number 2, the band. Instagram and Twitter. Y'all check us out.
Man, Cedric, it's been a crazy week, man.
Yeah, it has, man.
I mean, a crazy week, man, with the whole
exhausting.
Breonna Taylor. Yeah, man, it's been really a tough week. I mean, the officer was charged with bullets that missed.
Man.
You know, that's just absolutely crazy. But we want to be able to provide a little break from all of the madness going on in the world. So we hope that this show will put a smile on your face and give you some good information along with it.
Yeah.
Also, we want to take this time to dedicate this particular show to a really good friend and a brother. Man, our brother Dennis Williams, affectionately known as Skip. We call him Skip. This is for you, baby. This show is for you, Skip. We love you, man.
Hey, yes,
Stay
sir.
strong, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, man. So this is for Skip. Yeah, dedicated to you, and we hope you really enjoy it. Also, to your wife, Nita, and we love you. Thank you for all that you do and keeping our brothers strong.
Yes, sir.
And we know it's not easy.
Yes.
So this is also for you as well.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you. And Skip, we love you, man.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Yeah. So this is for him. Also, Cammie, thank you for calling.
Yeah.
Thank you for keeping us up on what's going on with Skip. We love you, and keep us in the loop of what's happening all the time, and you stay strong as well.
Yeah.
So, man, I think I'm ready to get started, Cedric.
Man, we got to. With no further ado.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Man, both of these individuals that we're bringing to you today, they are the children. They're Skip's children, and they are well accomplished in music. One is a MD and producer, writer. organist
Main organist, yeah.
at the I think it's at Elder Campbell's Church out of Chicago.
Yeah.
Michelle Williams, I mean, Grammy winning.
Yeah, everybody knows.
Actress.
Yeah,
I mean,
wow.
it goes on and on and on. We're going to get into all of that. Let's bring them on right now. Michelle Williams and Erron Williams.
Yeah.
Let's bring them on now, man. Y'all come on in.
Y'all come on in.
Let's get this party started.
Yeah, let's get the party started. What up, what up?
I see y'all. What's up, E?
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh.
Yes,
this is so much fun. I feel like I walked into the actual set and sat out.
Right.
Yes. Man, listen, tell them what's happening. Michelle, I want to hear from both of y'all, but I'm going to start with you ladies first. Michelle, what's been going on? What's the latest? What new projects are you working on? Catch us up.
Man, listen, well, first of all, I'm trying to stay Rona free out here in these streets.
Stay out the way.
Right. The crazy thing is I'm actually a homebody. So when they said that they were shutting down the country and we couldn't go outside, I was like, yes, I love being home.
Me too. Yeah. I was doing the same thing.
Listen, it's been all right with me, but I do have compassion for those that, are more extroverted and just have to be out. But for me right now, I'm about to launch a podcast on iHeartRadio under Charlemagne the God's radio channel on iHeart. Erron and I, we've been talking about doing some more music, doing an album soon. And what else? There was something else. Oh, I have a book coming out in May of 2021. So I'm kind of twiddling my fingers because I'm kind of just like, I'm just ready for next year.
What's the book about? What's the book about?
So it's about my journey. It's called Checking In, and it's just on my mental health journey and to encourage people mental health is different than a mental illness. A mental illness is just simply a diagnosis of one's mental health. But it's just to get people okay talking about mental health. We can ask people, man, how's your heart doing? How's your soul doing? Well, sometimes we need to ask people, how's your head doing? How's your, and then the heart is linked to the head, your mind and your soul and your spirit. So just getting people okay with talking about that. So that's kind of what I've been doing. What else I've been doing? Just kind of chilling. Right now, we're literally at home. So a lot of things that I was supposed to be doing, like a tour this year, I was supposed to be doing the Masked Singer tour that got shut down. So we're all home together.
Wow. E, what's up, E? What's up, baby?
What's up, man?
Man, what's the latest with you, bro?
Well, man, I'm just taking it easy right now, man. Just always working, always trying to write, try to better my craft. Technology is so crazy where it changes. It used to be a time where it would change every few years, maybe every 4 or 5 years, but technology is moving at a rapid pace where, well, as far as music, you have different software, different interfaces and all this stuff. So it's really been a task trying to keep up with software. So like now, when people do songs, they'll do it in Logic, and then they'll do some in Ableton, and then they'll take it to Pro Tools and mix it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get myself acclimated to using different programs, so I never know when I may be faced with a challenge or go to another place and they don't have Pro Tools or they don't have Studio One, so I should be able to work in any software or DAW that there is. So I've been spending my time just really trying to study these different softwares. I mean, they all do the same, but it's just a matter of everybody does things differently. So just learning how to get into that. During the coronavirus, I've been cooking a little bit.
What?
Wait, whoa. What do you cook?
Wait. Before we go on, is somebody mowing the lawn?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, it's going. Well,
I think that's on Eve's. I think that's Eve's
It's
microphone.
probably. I had my phone on the computer. That was probably.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Now go ahead on and tell us about your cooking escapades.
I want to
What you
hear
been
this.
cooking, bro?
Nice.
I caught myself trying to cook some steaks, and it worked out pretty well.
Man.
It was great. So been doing that, and then there's an artist named Red Ford I've been working with. We did a project. Actually, we did his project maybe 13, 14 years ago. So we're just pulling it out, getting some things going. We did Love Ballad last year. There's a video on YouTube.
The old Jeffrey Osborne song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Uh-huh.
yeah. Did that. So just writing, mixing, trying to do my thing.
That's what's up.
Man, that's what's up.
That's what's up.
Trying to
Man.
get ready for this Psalms 100 reunion soon.
Hey.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we about to get into that. Before
Yeah.
I get into anything, Michelle, is our lighting okay? Because I saw your post on Facebook.
Yeah.
Is our lighting all right?
Well, listen, before we went live, I was saying there's a few things that men don't particularly care about. They don't care about angles and selfies.
No.
Women, we're about our angles and lighting. Men, y'all don't like to put on lotion, your ashy elbows. I'm like,
You
bruh.
ain't lying there.
So I'd be like, can we get this? Can we make sure we got good lighting? One tip Diana Ross shared with us years ago. She said, find your light. So I always make sure that I find my light. Let me see, brother. Are you in your light? That'll preach. Get in the light. Get in the light.
I'm still trying to find my light too, Aaron.
The light say.
Man, well, Eve, man, I want to take you back a little bit, man. We were both, sitting on the bench at St. Paul Church of God in Christ. Big shout out to them.
Right.
Yes.
And Bishop, and man, we love you, Bishop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bishop Washington. We used to sit on the bench waiting for our turn to play. Back with Tim,
Right.
Was the man over there, man. Had
Yes, sir.
the big rig set up.
Yes, sir.
We were
Yes,
waiting
sir.
on our turn, man. We
Aww.
were waiting on when they get charity, when they give out, you walk around and pay your tithe and offering.
Yeah.
And he let us play. And so we had that opportunity to really sit under some great musicians and learn. And I was playing with Psalms 100 at that time. And then I left, in 86 to go off to college. And then you came on board. And
actually 85, I think 85 was my first concert that I played for the choir, for the church. I think I was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I played my first concert on the drums at St. Paul at 10, and I was nervous as heck. My timing was horrible. I would either slow the song down or speed it up.
Wow.
Hey, man. Well, listen, take us back, man. Talk to us a little bit about the experience of playing with the group, because I remember that's probably your first really big, opportunity for you.
Yeah.
And what that's meant in your life and how it's gotten you where you are today.
Wow, playing, even before I started playing with Psalms 100, just going to rehearsals and sitting down and listening to all this music was, for me, it was a mind-blowing experience to be able to hear this genre of music like funk, gospel, I would even say pop, a little bit of country, a little bit of quartet, and I would even probably sprinkle a little dash of punk in there too.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
That's
hearing
good.
all these different genres of music and it's being sung to gospel lyrics, it just blew my mind. Then being able to play with these guys that I idolized was a whole nother level. And I think it taught me, watching you guys, it taught me discipline. It taught me how to stay in my lane. So
That's cool.
Michael Charles is doing his thing, Joe is doing his thing, Steve, you're holding down the rhythm, but all these elements coming together, it made one voice. So you were able to listen to what you all were doing, and you was able to feel uh, even energy within the music. Like nowadays, it's like nowadays sometimes the drummer is too much,
Mm,
or
mm.
the bass player is too much, or the keyboard player is too
Good.
much. So everything now is it's like kind of it's uneven, but playing with you guys, it just made everything just gel and come together. So yeah, I was taught great discipline. I was taught placement, and I think another thing that I was taught that a lot of guys don't have is just the ability to feel the music
Yeah, yeah.
and feel the music and play it according to the genre or whatever the song calls for you to do. So
So good.
I learned a great deal of wealth watching and playing. So the first time I played, I think we did something at Auburn High School. I had that Red Simmons set,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah,
and matter of
electronic.
fact, said I don't know where that snare is, but you let me get this tan Rogers snare. It was deep. I don't know where it's at, but I'll try to find it and get
I
it to you.
remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yep,
Yeah,
I
I
remember that.
took this
Yep,
snare, I put some new heads on it and
yep.
stuff like that. So I used that for that gig. So, but man, that was like a highlight of my life.
Wow,
Yeah, yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Well, this question is for both Tanitra and Aaron. Tell me how, coming from such a large musical family, how this influenced you guys' platform today. You know, how actually did just being around. I happen to be around you guys, so I know
Mm-hmm.
how it influenced. But just tell your audience how, or tell our audience how.
Well, T, you want to go ahead?
Well, let me share my Psalms 100 experiences. First of all, I always wanted to be in Psalms 100.
Dang.
And hopefully one day when y'all do a reunion, I can at least do some backgrounds or something, or I can join in on this road is going to get a little rough
You still
on
remember
this
that?
journey.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
my God,
This
man.
journey.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Road is going to get.
Oh yeah,
Listen, that song was funky.
man.
Yeah.
I can't remember maybe Cedric, we would, were we at y'all's house? Were y'all at y'all's house rehearsing in the
Yep.
basement or one of the
Yep.
Herron brothers?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so I just kind of remember that as a young girl. Like, I can't recall the age, but I just kind of remember that time. And I just remember you guys, Psalms 100, you guys were stars,
Right.
Bobby Jones show, and you guys were up there. And I just remember, wow. And one of my favorite songs is Jesus Cares for You. I mean, come on, that song is beautiful. If an artist were to record that today,
Yeah.
I believe that it would be it's a hit.
That's right.
Right.
Aaron. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, Joe, if y'all are watching,
Yeah.
good writing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
But Erron and I, we came up in an amazing musical family. We are, of course, Williamses, but the Washingtons, as far as the vocalists, our cousin Lynn, our Aunt Minnie. Now, my mom and dad I know they're watching this, and so I know my mama would say, you got your singing from me.
Right.
Okay, Mom, just for this one day. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, FT Green Memorial Choir, I posted it on my Instagram last night about could I be spotted in the choir? I mean, I think we had some of the best teaching in the foundation. I mean, you guys got the teaching, Steve.
Yes.
And Cedric, what church were you at, Cedric, coming up?
News on.
Who?
Yep.
News? Oh my gosh!
Yep.
Yes, no wonder New Zion and St. Paul were vibing and had some of the best musicians and singers and just talent, period.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we had, well, Aunt Clee Penix, she kind of taught everybody in Clee, my Uncle Charles. Now, I don't know who taught them. Well, you know, Maddie Moss Clark, but we had
Yes.
some great, we
Yeah.
had a great musical foundation that I wouldn't trade for anything. I think some of the best artists today come out of the church and have some of the best discipline. And Erron, you were talking about singing and playing from the heart. I believe in church, you know, we didn't have sheet music. So we had to sing from the heart. We had to play from the heart. Because if you notice, you know, we all can read music, but it's something different when you got to look at the notes and find them on the keys. You ain't playing from the heart. You're playing based on the music, on the sheet music, which I believe everybody should learn how to read music. I'm not shading reading music. I'm just saying the church, we sing and literally minister from the soul.
Absolutely. You gotta feel it. You gotta feel it.
You gotta feel it. Yeah.
Erron, you got something to add to that one? Or
Oh well, you know, I mean, yeah. Let me piggyback off of how we came up. Well, you know, like she said, we have my cousin Lynn, my cousin Stan. He was very instrumental in my discipline. Like I would play drums, he would play the organ, and there were times where I got out of pocket, and he would turn around and look at me, and it seems like his forehead would like go back, and I was like, okay, let me get back in point.
Yeah.
And then we have my Uncle Charles. He's an organist. My Uncle Herbert. He's an organist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my Uncle Walt. He played trumpet.
Yeah, you know.
I think
Walt can play trumpet.
He played for Jack.
We had then my Uncle Man or Bishop Washington. I think at one point he played guitar in a quartet group way back in the day.
Wow.
Like Cedric said, we have singers, and then I have cousins that are great writers. So it's just been a great thing to have a great foundation. And then like, you know, my Aunt Clee, Lynn, or my uncles, they would say, Erron, learn the hymns. Learn the hymns. And at that time, at a young age, I was more concerned about playing the greatest or the latest choir songs and adding certain secular songs into gospel stuff. You know, that was the thing that I was looking at that time. But
shame on y'all for playing Caught Up in the Rapture during altar call. Anita Baker.
Right. And then, right. And then, you know, getting older, learning the hymns, learning the structures of them, and even the meanings behind some of those words was great. So I do understand why they said, hey man, learn those hymns. Hymns are kind of almost universal. Yeah. Like the new songs, these newer songs, they're like contemporary. Some of them they come and they go. But you know, great songs will never die. So, I had a great foundation in music. You know, my family was just closely knit in music, spirituality, the whole nine. So it was great.
Well, Clee was our Maddie Moss Clark. You know, that was our Maddie Moss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clee was our Maddie Moss. As soon as I saw that little movie they put out, that's the first person I thought of. I said, that's Clee. That's Stan's mom. All the way. All the way.
And then Lynn was my generation. She was our Maddie Moss.
Right.
And then Erron would say every now and then he started calling me Maddie Moss.
Oh, right. I
remember, you know, Mom, go ahead, Erron. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember one time me and my sister got into an argument at church over a song. And, you know, my sister, she wants the song to be like it was recorded as far as the choir parts. You know, she has her ear and I had mine. I was like, I don't think that's right. I think the choir part is this. She's like, no, it's this. So now we're going back and forth because we both want it to be excellent and to be great. Yeah. So eventually Stan and Lynn had to step in like, y'all need to stop that.
Wow.
You know, whatever.
That's one of my questions. You know, now, how do you guys? Is there creative difference? You know, understand you guys have worked together in the past, and you're looking to work together in the future. How do you guys get creative differences, and who wins?
Well, you gotta, so I think back then, Aaron was hearing it from a musician standpoint,
Right,
and
right.
I think back then I was already hearing from an artist standpoint. Sometimes when an artist hears something, they've got it embedded that that's how it's supposed to sound, that's how it's supposed to go. But when you have a musician like Erron, he can play many things. He can, if you have an R&B song, as great of a musician as he is, he can make it bluegrass. He can make it jazz.
Yeah.
He can make it country. He can make it folk. He can make whatever. But if I'm hearing gospel, I want to hear it gospel. I don't want to hear everything
That's
else.
real talk.
But I do think us being more mature now, I think it's kind of us having to kind of respect each other's ears and say, okay, well, I'll let you put that in, but make sure you keep this in. I think that's a good compromise. I remember, you know, I was so in love with teaching choir music back in the day, and there was a song by Hezekiah Walker called "Come Home," and Erron was able to recreate that intro. It was very orchestrated with strings and all of that. That could be one of the songs he's talking about, because I used to love sitting in musician rehearsals. So a part of it was because I wanted to make sure they were playing the song as it is on the record. But I just love sitting. I just love music, so I just love sitting in musician rehearsals. But I remember, like, yo, this song, and choirs like Hezekiah Walker, they're who they are for a reason. And I wanted our choir, the FGs, to kind of emulate that, because we had those same abilities.
That's good.
To do that. So it wasn't I was just hard on musicians to be hard on musicians. I just knew the capacity of the choir. I knew what we were capable of, and I knew our potential.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, Erron, you know, you've worked with you know, the likes of Lionel Richie, Robert Palmer, Ricky Dillard, and our Ann Nesby.
Yes.
As far as a musical director and a main organist, take us through your process of you know, what do you do?
Okay. Well,
this is pop, by the way. I'm not drinking.
Well, you know, first of all, on the music.
But Sad got a red cup, though.
I can't tell you it's pop. I ain't gonna tell you it's pop.
Little scotch, baby.
Right, there you go.
Right. From a music director's perspective, of course, you put together a group of guys that can play, that are proficient in their instruments. That's one aspect, but another aspect is the personalities. That has to be. I would probably say that would have to probably be above musicianship.
Wow.
It is not a fun thing to play with guys that you don't gel with. So, you know, even in that, and then another thing about being an MD, okay, the MD should know everybody's parts, as far as, okay, the bass player, you're playing the wrong note, so forth. But you also have to give way to the musician's creativity as well. So you can't just look at yourself as the total. I mean, you are the final say as far as how things go, but you should be able to respect the musicians' creativity and what they bring into the atmosphere, or also what they bring into a song. So whatever a bass player may hear a different note, and the keyboard player may have a different chord, which will work.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of be able to kind of bring yourself down to a certain degree where you can hear other people's creativity levels.
Good. That's good.
And then, being an organist, man, you know, I think I learned a lot of things, of course, playing in the watching Stan. He really kind of, who I am is who he is.
That is big.
So being aggressive, and then not only that, there were on Sunday mornings we didn't have a bass player, so I had to learn how to work my left hand as if I'm playing the bass.
Yeah.
So definitely watching that, and then watching him how he is able to discern what's coming next in the service, or
Yeah.
the vibe of the service, or the spirit, being able to discern, okay, I shouldn't play this, but I should play this, and maybe this will open up something in the service. And then
Woo, that's
also,
good.
also playing behind Pastor Campbell, man, I had to, he's a very intense preacher.
Mm.
And I had to, in my playing, I had to match his intensity. So when he gets going, he's just on a whole nother level. So I have to match that, and then I also have to watch. I also have to be sensitive to the spirit. I can't play the wrong thing. I have to really kind of, I have to take myself down in order for God to speak to me and say, "Hey, uh, this wave is getting ready to come up next."
Mm.
So I have to already kind of be in a place where I can hear
Yeah.
what he's trying to tell me musically, because he will tell you,
Yeah.
man, I don't think you should play that, or play this, and certain things will open up. So I've learned so much, even in playing choir music. For years, I was the only, it was me and the drummer. So I would kind of stretch songs as far as, or play my own thing to the song, or just add my creativity. But then when, like on Sunday nights, we would have a band. So we would play the same songs, but I could not just play what I wanted to play, because I got a bass player, I got a drummer, I got a keyboard player, and I got a lead guitar player with me. So it's like I can't just go all out and do, what I want to do. I have to play along with everybody. Another aspect of an organist is, especially playing behind singers. I have learned that that portion is not about the organist. It's about the singer. He or she is trying to relay a message, and it's my job to accompany. So as far as, certain chords, I would, like the first pass of a verse, I would play it, normal. Second pass, I would probably add my little thing to it, and then I would probably match the intensity of the singer. If the singer is going at it, I want to match her or his intensity, so the message and even the feeling of the song can be conveyed correctly. So I don't want to be here and the soloist is here, or I don't want to be down here and the soloist is here. So it's all a matter of feeling, like my sister said, we play mainly from our hearts.
Yeah.
So I think if you don't play by your heart, it can't reach the heart. So
Aaron, I heard you say something. I be YouTubing you sometimes. So I heard you say that sometimes when you play, sometimes you play to even push the singer, or if you feel their heaviness, you'll play it to try to get it out of them.
As a musician, we have a sense of discernment.
Well, you should, because you ought to be
right.
saved.
You should. Yeah, you should have a sense of discernment, where there's been times where Pastor Campbell would get up, and I'm like, I'm not. He's feeling a certain way, so it kind of prompted me to kind of play at a more aggressive level to help, to help him get to where he needs to be. And that's the same thing for singers. It's like singers, musicians, preachers, whatever you are, especially if you're in the spotlight, whatever. We have days where we don't feel like playing. We have days where we don't feel like singing.
Wow.
We have days where we don't feel like preaching. And sometimes we have to be help to one another. So there's been days where I didn't feel like playing, and my guy AJ, he would play behind me, and he would just be killing. I would look back at him. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Go with
Let's
it.
do this.
I hear you.
Or the bass player would just be killing. I'm listening and I'm feeling his energy. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's
Yep.
do this. And it helped bring me up. So
Beauty, yeah.
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 So,
Who is the hardest person you ever had to work with?
the hardest person?
Yeah, the toughest.
I think I would probably say Jimmy Wright.
Really?
And, yeah, and it started when he started going to Minnesota, and I was playing at Christ T when it was at what is that
I remember.
community over there? What is that?
North Main. Yeah. Was it North Main?
Where is that?
North Main?
Not North Main. It was before that.
Oh, before that. Okay. Yeah.
It was by this restaurant that everybody used to go to. It was on the like off the bridge, like on the side of the bridge.
Oh, yeah, on College Avenue. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Campus Family
yeah,
Diner.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
it was over there
yes.
by campus. So
Yeah.
yeah, so he left to go to Minnesota, and he called me and said, "Hey, I want you to fill in." So I went to rehearsal, and he was there, and I'm like, I'm filling in for Jimmy Wright, and to me, on organ, he was just a monster.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
how in the world am I gonna come behind Jimmy Wright and play?
Yes.
So
Ooh.
so he sat me down. He said, okay, they're gonna do this song, and I would play, and then he was like, no man, you don't have to do that like me. Just play it like you.
It is.
But still, I think that was probably the most pressure that I've ever uh, experienced. And it was not hard because he was saying, no, that's not right. It was just his stature to me.
Wow.
I was just totally blown away. That I was blessed to be able to play for Ann Nesby.
Yeah. Yeah.
He called me for that. Matter of fact, the story was so crazy. I was working at a factory called Atwood,
I remember that. Yeah.
and my foreman came to me and said, "Hey, your dad is on the phone." So my dad told me, he said, "Hey, Jimmy Wright called you and he wants to take you on tour." So I was like, "Whoa!" So I told my foreman, I was like, "Hey, I got to bounce." Um,
You told him right then?
yeah, yeah. So my foreman said, "Look, I don't never want to see you in this place again." I was like, "You never have to worry about that." So
Wow.
I got home. Dad put me on the phone with Jimmy, and I think Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was on the line as well. So hearing their voices on the phone saying, "Hey, we heard you're a great musician. We want you to play for Ann." I mean, that totally just wiped me out. So I get to rehearsal. So I get to Minnesota. I'm thinking I'm gonna just hang out and kick it. So Jimmy showed me my room. There was a keyboard and a stereo system and a tape. He said, "Study." So I'm thinking I'm just gonna go out, Mall of America, just kicking it. As soon as I got my butt to Minnesota, I had to go straight to work.
Wow.
So got to rehearsals, and there was like this string interlude that she has on her first album that was just, man, just absolutely, to me, really difficult. So, but being from church and having to use your ears, it was eventually I got it. But man, I think playing for him was probably the most intense thing that I probably experienced, because to me he was just a giant of a musician,
Yes,
just
it was.
a giant of a producer. So yeah, so I would say yeah, that was probably the most pressure filled thing that I've experienced.
I
That's
want
so
to take
good.
up time with all the questions, but I got one more question for Tanisha there. Um, everybody knows about you, but this is for Rockford. Did you envision yourself being where you are right now
Hmm.
when you were a little girl? When you were Rockford?
Um, I this is a true story. I always knew that I would be successful. I just didn't know to this capacity. There were people in my family that I really looked up to, And I know my mom, for sure, she definitely wanted us to go to school, because my mother, she, in her mind, it literally was, you go to school, you get a great job, you can get your health benefits.
Oh yeah.
You know, you'll be all right. So to have kids who wanted to do music full time, I could understand that shaking a parent, because in your mind you're like, well, y'all don't get insurance benefits in the music business, you know? And so, well, it depends. If you are in certain unions in the music business, you can get health benefits. If you amass a certain amount of TV time, you pay now into a union, but that's another conversation. I went to school for criminal justice, you know, so I knew that I'm gonna be a bomb attorney one day, or going to forensics. So, but I was just like, I'll sing on the side. So I had already, Jimmy and them knew. I was like, I'm singing for Ann too. I sure am. So I remember, I think Jimmy might have stopped by. Remember they would have volleyball games at the lodge, the Welcome Star Lodge?
Volleyball, yeah.
I think Jimmy came to one of them, or I had a conversation with him on the phone. And I just remember, you know, when I get out of high school or something, that's what I want to do. But of course, I didn't pursue music first. I went to school. And then a musician out of Chicago who played for choirs like Chicago Mass and New Direction, he was on tour. They were in rehearsals to go on tour with Monica and a pop band called 98 Degrees. Some of y'all weren't even born in 98, but he was like, hey, I was just reaching out to you to see if your number is still the same. I said, yeah. He said, well, I'm about to go on the road with Monica. And at the time I was like, oh, okay, when you're telling me, because what? But I finally did say, hey, if she needs a background singer, call me. Well, he did call. He called back about a week or two later and said, Monica is having auditions tomorrow in Atlanta. Can you get to Atlanta? I was like, bro, I can't afford, tickets if you don't buy them 7 days in advance. They're high. But I knew if I took Greyhound, I would just be getting there today. So he said he had a cousin, her name is Gladys, who worked for United Airlines. He said, well, let me call her to see if I can get a buddy pass for you. And I was like, okay. So she got a buddy pass for me, and I flew to Atlanta. I auditioned for Monica. Y'all guess what song I sang?
Which one?
His Eyes on the Sparrow?
No.
Blessed Assurance?
How'd you know, bro? That's how churchy I was.
Wow.
That's how churchy I am.
Wow.
I said, what a hymn.
You sung that.
Listen, a hymn will get you through. When I met Beyonce and Kelly to sing To Be in Destiny's Child, I sang Walk With Me.
Wow.
A hymn?
Man, you ain't lying.
You
Wow.
didn't sing the hymn? I might be giving away a free nugget. If
Yeah,
you
you ain't lying there, boy. Wow.
And you pierced the heart of that person, because I didn't feel like I was the best singer or the best dancer. I don't know, but I sang Walk With Me. I didn't sing Say My Name. I didn't sing Bills, Bills, Bills. No. Even in Monica's audition, I didn't sing Angel of Mine or The Boy Is Mine or some of her other hits. I sang what I knew.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Wow.
So even when it came to going to Destiny's Child, I remember after I got off the road with Monica, I still came back to church and sang in the choir. And I think that's what I kind of want to tell the younger people that might be listening, or tell people who will watch this later. There is nothing wrong or corny about serving.
Beautiful.
There's nothing corny about still doing your gigs on the road, but if you have to come back home and sing in the choir or teach in the choir, if they allow you to, because sometimes if you're singing secular, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't go back and forth.
Yeah.
But if you are going on the road or whatever, I just think that serving is the reason why, we all have been able to do what we do, is because we don't mind serving. So I say that to say, when it came time for me to go to Destiny's Child, I think I told Stan, I said, I got a phone call from Beyonce's mom, Miss Tina, about going down to Houston. I already knew that the Lord released me to go, because I, in all thy ways, acknowledge him. He'll direct your path. I already prayed about it. I felt released to go. I was just doing the right thing by letting them know. I just didn't go ghost and leave.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was, I sang a good old hymn. Like, how you gonna sing Walk With Me
Right.
in your
I'm
audition to
tripping on
Destiny's
that one.
Child?
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, while we're on this point, I want to know, excuse me, you have acted on Broadway, Michelle,
Yes, sir.
in Oprah's Color Purple play. Tell us about that and what that experience was like.
Thank you very much for that. I've always loved theater. Erron, were you in Kappa as well? Did you get in Kappa? So Erron and I, we both were in Kappa. Cammy too. In the creative and performing. Yeah, no, Kappa was creative and performing arts. The academy was for the smart people.
Oh yeah, okay. I got mixed up there.
I hated school.
Right.
But we were in the creative and performing arts sector of our school, so you had to audition to be in Kappa. But I remember I would always audition to be in these theater shows, and they never would pick me to be in these plays in school. So the very first play that I was in was on Broadway in 2003. I was in Aida. So I say that to say, keep going, keep auditioning. They may not pick you now, but I was ready for when they called my name to go on Broadway. Okay, 2003 Aida. And then you're right. The next thing I did was The Color Purple.
Yes.
And I'll tell you the story on that. They wanted me to audition for the role of Celie in the Color Purple musical. I kind of geared more towards the role of Suge Avery. Not because I was Suge in real life, but I just liked her sassiness, right?
Yeah.
And so I remember channeling, and I've told her this before, Aunt Doretha. My Aunt Minnie's sister, Doretha Craig. Y'all remember her?
Yep.
In Rockford? Okay.
Yep.
Short, chocolate, always rocking that short hair,
Yes.
the orange lip.
Yeah.
Yes.
You couldn't tell her name. So I remember telling her when I auditioned, I just channeled people that were close to me or close to my family. We aren't related, but she is my Aunt Minnie's sister, my aunt who was married to my mom's brother.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna share the story. So they wanted me to audition for Celie because Celie is the bigger name in the show. Celie is the one whose name goes first on billing. Her role got what you call top billing. I didn't care. So I auditioned for both, and I ended up getting the role of Suge Avery. And so they were like, "Hey, we just want to let you know that your name is not going to come first on the billing. It's going to say Color Purple starring Jeanette Bayardell and then Michelle Williams." Listen, I didn't care where my name was. The only place I cared where my name was correct. You know that line on the check that says "Pay to the order
that's
of"?
right. Yeah, you better believe it. Yeah.
I didn't care. Matter of fact, you don't even have to say my name. I just deposit. My check is direct deposit. They know my name. So I hope that that's a teaching lesson for somebody to go out for things, even though your name might not be called first. Yeah. But you keep going because later on you'll be doing shows or Broadway shows where you'll be you'll have the starring role. Now, to me, we still had the same workload, but for Celie is the star of The Color Purple, right? So I just want to encourage people, like, I went for where my heart was drawn. I knew I wasn't right for the role of Celie. I'm glad that they asked me. They asked me because they thought someone coming out of Destiny's Child would want the starring role. I didn't care. And I can even tell you guys, even as my role in Destiny's Child, I don't care that it is Beyonce, Kelly, and then Michelle. Once again, pay to the order of
That's
is
right.
always correct.
Yeah.
Thanks to God.
Yes.
I want y'all to know
Yeah.
and just be okay with your role. Be okay with your lane.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
be okay.
That is
Yes. Yes.
that is beautiful. Yeah.
Yes. Erron, you know, you have a record label or a production company. Is that
Production? Yep.
production company? Talk to us a little bit about what it is that you're doing with the production company right now.
Okay. Well, it started in I think 2001. I did a Christmas song, "Oh Holy Night" for my sister. And then I'm filling out ASCAP papers at home, and I'm like, okay, what should my name be? At that time, I would do a little biblical studying and stuff like that. So the name Kairos came to me, which is God's set time.
Mm.
And to me, even before that, I would be at St. Paul. Well, let me go back to Stan. Stan taught me structure as far as songs. Um, he had an O1W, D70, some other keyboards and stuff like that. So I took just major interest in the electronics of it.
Yeah. Wow.
And I hooked them all together. He showed me song structure. I remember I was working on one song, and I probably had about 50 instruments in there. And he came in. He was like, "Okay, that's good. Okay, take that out. Take that out. Take that out. Take all this other stuff out." And then he's
Yes.
like, "Now you got something." And even before that, I remember being on Royal Avenue. I had this little Yamaha PSR 70 keyboard,
Yeah.
and I had a stereo system. So I would play one thing and record it on one tape, take the tape out, put it in the other tape on the other side of the tape, play it and record it, and then play on top of that. So I was always acclimated towards production. So when the opportunity came for me to really do my thing on a different level, I named my company Kairos because I believe at that time it was God's appointed time for me to be where I was, and it was also God's appointed time for my sister to be where she was as well.
Wow.
So years later, I was blessed to do the title tracks to her projects. I was able to do a song entitled "Love" off of the Destiny Fulfilled, Destiny's Child. I was blessed to be able to do uh, some stuff for Ricky Dillard, the way church used to be.
Love Ricky Dillard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
Yeah.
even some local people. I did Elton Allen, Tony Ford.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, but then just through the years, just producing and stuff like that. So right now, I'm still doing the same thing, just
Yeah.
being creative, always finding, or actually always kind of going beyond what I've done before.
Let me ask you a
It's so
musician.
good.
Let me ask you a musician question. Do you
Yeah.
feel, a lot of musicians feel they have to have the latest sound, the latest equipment to do their job. Do you feel that as a
Well,
musician right now?
um, I don't feel that. It actually, to tell you the truth, I sold some pieces that I wish I didn't sell.
Wow.
So, and that's just from a sonic viewpoint. No, I don't think you have to have the latest to be the greatest.
Yeah.
I was reading some stuff about Teddy Riley, and he still uses some old modules from the early '90s,
Wow.
the late '80s to this day.
Wow.
So no,
Yeah.
I don't think you have to have the latest. I think you have to know sonics. You
That's
can take
good.
an old sound and okay, maybe I need to apply some EQ or some compression or some delay or some chorus,
Yeah,
and I could make this sound come alive.
that's
That's
good.
So,
good. Yeah.
and then you also have to have imagination as well,
Yeah, good.
not just visually but audibly. So you should be able to close your eyes and just feel, okay, I need this type of sound in this song, and have the wherewithal to take what you have and create it or manipulate the sound or do whatever you need. It feels that you needed to do. So
Right.
I don't think you need the latest and greatest.
Mhm.
But I do know that it should be sonically where you think the song should be.
Mm, good,
If
good.
it's if it's a certain song and it requires a certain amount of grit or harmonic distortion or an analog feel, okay, great. If you're doing another type of song and you want it to be transparent, make sure that how you mix it is transparent.
Real
You
talk.
know,
Yeah.
and that goes from the selection of your kicks, the selection of your snares, the selection of your hi hats,
Nice.
selection of your piano, or the selection of your instruments. Because I work on a song, and it will probably take me an hour to find the right kick,
Yeah.
another hour to find the right snare.
Yeah.
Or Tanitra knows this. I have a bad habit of doing one song 5 times, 5 different times, because I'm it's like I'm hearing so many things, and I have to learn how to hone in. Okay, the song should be this right here. So
Yeah.
I could take that song. I hear something else and do it. Do it 5 times. But I think it's very important. No, you don't need the newest and the greatest to write
But
music. Art.
Aaron has to know sometimes the track that he does is so dope. You don't need no changes. Like just be okay with that. Aaron, you have a signature sound. Cedric, you have a signature sound.
Yeah.
Steve, you're playing. You had a signature sound.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
just kind of also piggybacking off what Aaron is saying too. Like be kind of thinking, what is your signature sound? Like Teddy Riley, like you said, in 2020, he's gonna do a track. It might be in 2020, but we'll know it's him. We'll know it's Roddy Jerkins. We'll know it's Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. It's gonna be something that they have, where we know, it is a sound, but you cannot be insecure. So you can't be flip flopping because you feel like, okay, this is what's on the radio. This is hot. Now,
Good.
do I feel sonically, level wise, it should match up with what's on the radio right now? But as far as like Aaron said, not having to have the latest equipment, because I feel like a lot of people, they don't, they are insecure about what they have, and so they won't produce, they won't sing, they won't get out there because they feel like they don't have the latest and the greatest.
Yeah.
But you have to start somewhere.
Yes.
And then maybe when that coin starts rolling in, you can start investing
Right.
in the things that somebody else has. But don't let what you don't have stop you from getting out there. Plus, when we don't do with what we have, I think we limit God. We limit God on being able to multiply what he's given us. So trust that, okay, God, you've given me this gift. You're going to multiply it, but I can't be insecure about it. I've got to get out there because God's going to do the rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
He's going to do the rest.
Yeah.
Producers, I think it's very important that you find, or if you are an artist, I think it's very important to find a producer that understands you, that allows you to be who you are. So,
Yeah.
in other words, the artist should be the center, and the producer should be the one that's around the
Yeah.
artist, that's
That's good stuff.
allowing the artist to be who they are, because I've seen so many
Real talk.
instances where I've heard records, and I'm listening to the artist, I'm like, this doesn't sound like this artist, this sounds more like the producer.
Sir.
I want to hear I want to hear the true essence of the artist. So I
That's
think it's
good.
very important to find a producer that you can gel with, or even with a producer, because there are some producers such as myself where I don't hear lyrics. I just hear music. So I think it's very important to find an artist that can kind of emulate your music, or that can fit in your music and make it, come alive. So
Before
just
we go further, can
mhm.
you explain the difference between a production contract and a record or label contract?
Okay. Um, okay, production. Okay, to make a long story short, a production contract is like the product.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, they hire you just to write the songs. They hire you to do the music. They hire you to pick who should sing or who should play, yada yada. In other words, you have to take all these elements, make a product, and give it to the record company. And then the record company will take what you do and either uh, shop it, or they'll take what you do and give it to another artist, and then the record company will take that song that you did with the artist and put it out there. So it's really about the producers are the almost like the manufacturers of a product,
Ah,
and a record deal is almost like the product being done, and they wrap it up and they ship it out. That's
yeah,
long story short.
nice, nice. Um, we got about 10 minutes, look like. Less than that, about 6 minutes. But I got a question here. This could be for both. This is for our Rockford family. See, I love Rockford.
Profit.
You guys are all from Rockford. It shows that good people, good things come out of Rockford.
Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir.
to all these aspiring people that want to be musicians, want to be actresses, actors, write songwriters, what steps do they need to take?
T, you want to go first?
Ooh, well, I feel like social media is like a free audition or free platform for you because people aren't listening to CDs really anymore. So if you hand me a CD, I don't know where I'm gonna play it because
Me either.
I don't have a CD. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like now the I come from the age of artist development. So I'm on the cusp of when the social media thing kind of blew up. So I don't want to discourage anybody because people feel like, well, I only have 2 followers on my YouTube channel. I only have 2 followers on Twitter and Instagram. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Somebody will eventually see it because people want to see your grit.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they want to see your grit. They want to see, okay, are you just waiting on the handout? Are you just
Yeah.
waiting? Now, I do believe in helping people. Somebody had to call my name
Yeah.
for me to audition for Monica, for me to audition for Destiny Child. Someone called Aaron's name. Somebody had to call our name.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, because when I say handout, like the reason why our names were called, because we had a prior history of work already that we had put in. So you're putting in the work. I tell people too, look on billboard.com. There are always music where you can actually rub elbows with people, right?
Yeah.
So no shade on wanting to have the latest sneakers, but you might have to sacrifice the latest sneakers, or you might have to sacrifice that bundle of hair
Real talk.
to pay for the registration fee for a conference. That's what I'm looking for. It's kind of like when we're people want your help, but they don't want your advice, and that's what Dr. Darius Daniels talks about. So we're just giving you nothing. They won't. They just want to shoot up. No, there are certain sacrifices that you have to take, because we all on this call, we've had to sacrifice something to do what we do, right? You know, I tell people all the time about auditions for musicals. You don't have to be famous to get on Broadway. Go to playbill.com and go click the tab that says auditions. There are regional auditions in Chicago, the theaters in Chicago, and the unfortunate thing, COVID has hit the performing arts programs like never before, but I'm still, because we're gonna rise again, we coming back. So I'm just saying, be prepared. Go to playbill.com and you can look at all the upcoming shows, right? And then go look and see if they're having auditions. It's on that site. We can Google gossip. I want you to Google playbill.com, go on billboard.com, because they will tell you the latest music conferences. Playbill, I'm only saying because I'm in music and theater, so I'm just even telling you, I'm an author. I got a book coming out. So go on to these Google book agencies and see when they're wanting your work, because agents won't take unsolicited work. But there are a couple times a year where they say, we're looking for books, we're looking for authors, we're looking for actors, we're looking for dancers, we're looking for this. So just kind of you know, I see a lot. I see, and I do have my personal Facebook page to lurk. Okay, so I see so much going on, and it's like, okay, this person, they're talented, but I see where their head and heart is. They're not ready right now. You know what I'm saying? I think all of us on this call will say, I'll take a less talented person who's got a good heart, that's doing the work, that's pliable, versus the person that's so dope who don't want to rehearse and they don't feel like they gotta grandstand, and it's like, you're not, no. I can't handle you, because some of the biggest stars I know, they still rehearse, they still fail, they still get up and try again. They're not out here feeling like they made it. No, they're grinding like they never had it.
Somebody listen. That's good stuff. Yes, ma'am.
When you
That's
said
my
that,
Maddie Boss coming out. That's my Maddie Boss Clark coming out.
That's it. You know?
I think even from a musician standpoint,
tell it, Erron.
I think it's number one, like I would go to St. Paul. I would get there maybe about 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and I would not leave until midnight. And my grandmother, she had to come to the church and make me stop to go home to eat, because I was so focused on, okay, I need to practice. I mean, I just loved it where I just lost time. I would look up at the lights, I mean at the windows, the sun is out, and then the next thing I know it's dark. So I sacrificed a lot of time. So again, I would go into church 9, 10 a.m. and I would not leave till midnight.
That's right.
So okay, you put in your time. Number two, let your yays be yay, let your nays be nay. If you can't do something, just say I can't do it, and I had to learn that.
There it is.
Yeah. So let that be that.
Because how many musicians have left people hanging?
Right.
Don't show up.
Right. So let's make sure we take care of that. Number two, always have a humble spirit.
Beautiful.
I don't care how great your talent is. It's nothing if your humbleness does not exceed that. It can't match it. It has to exceed. I know Bishop Campbell, you always say, don't let your gift take you where your character can't keep you. So you have to you have to be just as great in your gift as you have to be just as great in your temperament and your humbleness as you can in your gift. Another thing, always invest in yourself.
Beautiful.
Invest, like sacrifice those Jordans, those J's, and that's if you really want it. So when I first moved to Chicago, I was blessed. that my cousin, big brother Stan, allowed me to take some of his equipment to Chicago with me. So I was doing sessions, recording sessions. So I would take the money from the sessions, buy me something, and then take a keyboard back home to Stan. So eventually, I was able to build my own thing. And the great thing about it is that I was able to buy something, and I didn't buy it at list cost. I said, hey, do you have any demo units?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
Mm.
believe it.
do you have
Yeah,
any floor?
yeah.
Do you have anything on the floor that I could buy? So
Good.
I did that, and I eventually, just start doing sessions and um, investing into myself. So as far as my clothes, you know what, I really didn't care about how I was looking. I mean, of course, being presentable, but I just didn't care about the latest J's and the latest outfits. I was just so
No, you weren't,
focused.
because you would play basketball in your church shoes.
That's right, and white socks.
Yeah, well, uh,
My white tube socks. So yeah, and invest in yourself. And then another thing too is that don't invest so much in your gift where you leave yourself out as a person. So
ooh,
your gift is great, and you could perform anywhere, anytime. But then as a person, you're lacking because you haven't taken out that time to
yeah,
develop or to find out who you
Mm,
are
that's big,
yeah.
bro.
outside of that
That's
gift.
big right there. That's big.
So it's
That's
like we're so great. We're so great in our gifts, but then if we were to lay that gift down
big.
and really take a look at us without the gift, it's like, who are we? So I think personal developing along with that gift is so
Yeah.
very important, because there may be a day that you may not be able to utilize that gift,
Yeah,
and then now you're left crushed
yeah,
Wow.
because
Wow.
you can't use that gift anymore. So now you have to rely on, like, okay, who am I outside of this? Will I be okay if I can't do what I do?
Yeah.
real
Is
talk.
there something else that I can contribute,
Yeah,
to the world or to whoever?
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to lay your gift down at times and look at
That's so
yourself
good,
and
bro.
who you are.
wow.
So,
Real
May
good.
I
Real
add to
good.
that?
yeah.
Not only that, and this is where we talk about remembering the
Mhm.
why you want to do what you do, because so many performers, you know, are performing from a hurt place. I
Ooh,
want to perform. I want to be in the industry, or I want to be a preacher. I want to be a teacher. I want to be in this high place because you need validation.
Right.
You need to perform
yeah,
so you can get the applause because
yeah.
you weren't getting it at home. It's that little kid in you that's desiring attention and
All right.
affirmation.
Yeah,
And so I'm learning on my healing journey that a lot of people will seek out jobs in emotional places of what they lack.
ah,
Mm.
So to know that there are performers who are performance oriented, meaning, okay, I'll do this because you'll love me if I do that. So before you know it, you've learned how to be a performer. You've learned how to put a mask on.
yeah,
So I sometimes my mom has said sometimes that she hates her gift of discernment.
yeah,
Sometimes I hate it too, because sometimes you can almost sense not that we judge the heart of a person, but you can almost sense the
Mm.
heart of their why. So it's,
Mm.
some people, I'ma show them. Now
yeah.
that could be some cool motivation, but okay, now once you made it, that should change. It should be now, okay, God, thank you so much. You kept me. I want to give back. I want to do this. Because sometimes, how many teachers told you, yeah, I don't think you're ever going to be anything. So you use that as motivation to be who you are and be where
Sure.
you are. There are people you probably couldn't read in high school and you wanted to be a doctor, and your science teacher probably told you, yeah, you keep getting F's, but now look at them, they're a doctor.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
there's places of using people's being mean to you as motivation. But I'm leery of people who that continues to be your why.
Wow.
So remember your why. Do you want to change the world? Do you believe your gift can set people free and heal your city, heal your county, heal your nation, heal the world? Do you really believe that? And can you do it if you ain't getting a bunch of likes?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you do it
There you go.
if you walk in a room and
Yeah.
don't nobody know you? Can you do it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you do
Real
it?
talk.
Will you? How about a yes from God? Will you do it
Yeah.
if you don't become big and grand? And
Real
big
talk.
and grand,
Yeah.
that big and grand in whose eyes?
Yeah.
You know what? Let me say this too.
Yeah.
Let me say this about my sister. I've seen places where she has sang and was criticized, or I've seen even matter of fact, there was a couple people that I had to set straight on social media
Oh Lord.
concerning where she is, her voice, and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I've seen her sing and people just sit down on her like she ain't doing nothing. But again, and then that also goes back to, like she said, her why.
Yeah.
Why is she doing this? So if you are performing or do something or playing and nobody's saying, "Ooh, he's killing," or "Ooh, she's killing," and
Talk. Talk,
if
boy.
that's your
Yeah.
focus, if
Yeah.
that's your focus, you already lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
You
sir.
are
Yep.
already doomed, because
Yep.
what you'll do, you will always do things for applause,
Yeah.
and then you'll lose why you need to do this, and
Yeah.
then so what will
Come
happen?
on. Yeah.
Um, what you will lose is your sensitivity to be in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh boy. That's
instead of
happening, man.
instead of discerning the moment, now you are discerning the applause of the people, or the oohs and the ahs of people, and then you've already lost it, because you're going to go into a situation where nobody's going to say ooh or ah,
Yeah.
or nobody's going to say you killing.
And you
So
running
now,
after. You constantly running
yeah,
Yeah.
after. You become
right.
a
So
slave
now,
seeker.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So now you have to go back
Yeah.
to your why.
Yeah.
Um,
That's so
Yeah.
good.
so
Yeah.
it's like especially if you know that you are called to do a certain thing,
Yeah.
you cannot rely on people's whys. And then again, let me go back to my sister. I've seen it where I've seen it one time. We was in Memphis, and she was
Yep.
singing, and some guys was talking crazy, and it was me, I think Tim Witherspoon, Steve Goldsmith, and of course that's my baby sister. And
Yeah.
they was talking so crazy. I was with the Saints, and I was
We
I
at
was
convocation.
yeah, we was at the convocation, and I was ready to throw them hands. I was like, and
Listen, what's that new
Oh
song?
boy.
Try Jesus, don't
yeah,
try me, because I throw hands.
yeah, and then let me say another thing too about that is, like, people don't understand how she got to where she is.
Mm.
People did not see or experience those dark times. Even the dark stuff that I know about, and even the stuff I don't, is that those times made her, or got her where she is. So a lot of judgment and a lot of the ill comments are really ignorant, because it's like you cannot you cannot discern why God does a thing. And a
Mm.
lot of times you cannot discern the thing until after it's done.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
Yeah.
it's like I've experienced so many things on social media that was so mean and disheartening. And these
Mm-hmm.
and these are not coming from heathens.
Yeah. Yeah. Come from
These
saints.
these
Yeah.
words was coming from the saints. Like, I
Yeah.
don't how did she make it?
Yeah.
To favor of
Mm.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen.
And the thing about it, you cannot, and you cannot try to pick it apart. You cannot discern it. The only thing that you can do is, hey, booster, when she's at her place, because your place is coming. Matter of fact, I had a very interesting thing that happened.
Come on.
I was with Bishop Campbell, and we were somewhere on the East Coast. And usually after we come from church, we go straight to eat. So I was sitting next to this lady, and we were talking about different artists and all that stuff. And she was like, Michelle Williams, and my friend Troy Taylor was sitting across the table from me, and he's looking at me. I was like, yeah, I think I heard of her. She's like, I don't like her. I just don't like the way she sound, and I don't like this and that. I was like, really? So I just kept
Let
on
it
letting her
go.
just, oh, okay, get it out. And then after everything was over, I was like, excuse me, miss, that's my sister. And she just
Foot
turned
and
white.
mouth.
She just turned white as snow.
Wow.
I mean, she didn't even say, "Hey, is anybody at this table related to Michelle Williams?" Before she started.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Knowing your last name is Williams. Like, how did she not
Right.
put two and two together?
Right. So it's like you have to just be so careful
Yes.
of what you say, because you never know what a person has to go through to get to that place of where she is. And I commend you, TT, for
Aw.
just being so focused and having the tenacity and the audacity just to keep going in spite of what has been said, what has been done, and things of that nature. But
That's
and
beautiful.
this is for any and
That's beautiful.
everybody out there. You're gonna have some dark days.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some times where you feel like putting your gift down and becoming a grocer, or what's the bag boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
You are gonna have those days, and because I felt so many times where I'm like, you know what, this music thing ain't working for me. I'm gonna go to Amazon and get me a job or something like that.
Yeah.
But you will have
Well,
those
Erron,
days.
I think we get our resilience from our dad.
Yeah.
How many times we keep thinking he's near death? He comes
Wow.
back.
Man.
How many
man.
times is something ill spoken of you or me, and we just get right? We be like, I didn't even hear that. I didn't even see that. We keep going. I'm sorry, keep going. I'm the baby sister. I just be interrupting my big brother.
Yeah. So this, hey, everybody out
Yes.
there, stay encouraged. And sometimes you may have to step away for a while. And when you step away for a minute, you even have to be careful of what you replace it with.
Yeah. There you go. Good.
So if you have to learn how to cook, ride a bike, read a book, something like that, it should be something that can replace or replenish the lack that you have.
There it is.
And you have to be careful not to veer off in other things that can like take you down
Yeah.
and mess you up.
Right.
Because if you notice, we have so many great performers and artists and that had those days, and they succumbed to drug overdose or this and that. So you have to be careful in those dark days what you adhere yourself to, or what you listen to, what you feel, because sometimes our feelings will mess us up. And the thing about feelings do change.
Yeah.
And feelings aren't facts.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
No,
So
True.
yeah.
True.
So when you experience those days, you have to go back to that hymn. You have to go back to Blessed Assurance, or
Yes.
things of that nature. So just be
Yes.
careful, because you will run up on those days. Hey,
Yes.
just
And
stay
I know-
encouraged.
I feel like I want to do this all over again, live in person with you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Everybody in the comments, aren't we enjoying this? I don't even have to answer another question. I'm just enjoying the juice. And it's dropping in the questions that you guys are asking. So I pray that one day you guys are able to do this live in person in Rockford, because I don't think we have this in Rockford.
Right.
And so we'll be the first there for you guys. So
Thank you so much.
what else we talking about? Keep going.
Listen, thank you guys so much. It's been an honor to have you, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Yeah.
Before we close, just one final thought. You know, America's in a very crazy time right now, and with COVID-19, and then we got the Black Lives Matter movement. I want you first, Michelle, to talk to us a little bit about your journey. You've been very transparent with mental health and mental being aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what role music has played in your life to help you through those crises.
Yeah.
Well, music is a healer.
Man.
You know, they call it a universal language for a reason. Music can bring people together, you know, and as it relates to the mental health journey, it's just, I just know where to go. I go to prayer and my music, you know, and then even in the times that we're living in, you know, we got to make sure we're listening to music that's feeding our soul. Yes, we have a right to be angry. Oh my gosh, we see what's going on. So it'll make any sane person go insane.
Yeah.
So, you know, even just having a time where, okay, you know what, today is Saturday. I'm not even going to look at social media and everything that's going on, because ain't nothing going to change between today and tomorrow. So because I know that, I'm going to spend this time with the people that are pliable, which is your family, your husband, your wife, your children. Invest time into them. Just doing things that that are keeping you whole. And to everybody on the front lines out there with COVID, everybody on the front lines, you know, of Black Lives Matter and police brutality, I know you feel like you can't have a moment to breathe, but I pray that you have a moment to rest and recover, because you are needed. We need you. But don't feel like you can't take an hour to just kind of decompress and get out and just kind of get out there. So I see some people on here who are on the front lines. You know, just know that, you know, you are seen. I want to send love to like Albert Riley. We went to church with him.
Yeah.
You know, there's no need for that. There's no need for anybody to be roughed up in any kind of way. He's a photographer taking pictures. To let's see, we got Asia Penix, Ashley Williams. There are so many people out there on the front lines that are doing the work. You're doing the work that people are afraid to do, and so just know you are seen. But TT wants you to take care of yourself too.
Yes, and then to you, Erron, specifically, this is the first time in America's history that we have a movement that has not been led by a church, preacher, or pastor. It's led by young Black youth. Tell us briefly, what role will gospel music play in keeping our spirits up and keeping us in the fight?
Well, if you really think about gospel, the gospel is the good news. So within the gospel, there is, of course, the good news, and it also reflects our struggle. If you listen to a lot of our songs, they are geared towards giving God praise for what He brought us out of, or giving God praise of what we're currently in. Um, this I see it like this. I don't mean to sound preachy or anything like that. History repeats itself. If you look in Exodus, you look at Moses, how the people were crying, they were being unjustly treated, and God heard the cries of His people, and then here comes Moses. God anointed Moses to lead His people out. And then if you look further in Exodus, you'll see where God on purpose hardened the heart of Pharaoh. So Moses went to Pharaoh and said, "Hey, let my people go." Pharaoh was like, "Uh-uh." So it's kind of reminiscent of what I see today as far as justice for Breonna Taylor and all the other ones that have been murdered. It's like now we go to court, and it seems like their hearts are being so hardened where they won't give us justice. But we all know the story of the children of Israel. Eventually, while uh, Pharaoh's heart was being hardened, God allowed, or Moses, or God told Moses, okay, you know what, say this or do this, and then plagues came upon the earth, and that was to show God's power. That was for Pharaoh to see, hey, this God that we serve, or this God that Moses has served, man, he's no joke. So eventually, now it got to the point where his Pharaoh's son was killed, and then all of a sudden now he released them. But I say this to say that is that yes, this we have a movement that is, that is being birthed through our young people, and I believe that God is going to raise a leader to be our voice, because it's like we don't want to have multiple voices.
Yeah.
We need one voice that represents us. And I believe that God is going to raise that person up. And then at the same time, I believe that justice is coming. If you read that
Amen.
story, you'll find that after Pharaoh released the children of Israel, Pharaoh chased them and said, hey, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm finna go and get y'all back. So they crossed the Red Sea. The Red Sea opened up, and they were, Pharaoh and everybody else that was down and dirty died with Pharaoh. So I believe the time is coming where justice is going to be served.
Amen.
I believe that God hears our cries. He has seen this. He has seen the injustice. He has felt our hearts. He has felt our anger. But I really believe that justice is coming, and I really believe that it's going to be. I feel like it's so ironic that we're facing a pandemic, and we're facing all this racial injustice all at the same time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just really believe that certain things are being reset. If you look at the entertainment industry, almost shut down. So when they get back going, it's going to have to be different. The educational system is going to have to be different. Now is everything is homeschooled.
Yes, it is.
So there's going to have to be some changes, some permanent changes that's going to carry us into the next 30,
Whatever. Yeah.
40 years. So justice is coming.
Yeah.
Believe
Come
me.
on.
If you read history, if you read
Right.
your Bible, justice is coming.
Yes.
The industries, all this stuff is being reset. So everybody
Yeah.
stay prayed up. And,
Yeah.
and then another thing too, you have, like Tanitra said, we have Cheeks, we have Asia, we have some other people that are on the front line, but then we have some other people that are in the pews praying,
Intercessing. Yeah.
intercessing. So everybody is needed. So I don't want
Right.
the people that are out in the streets getting on the people that's praying and praying, or the people that's praying that's getting on the
It's
people in the
good.
streets. We all are needed.
It's good.
That's right.
We all
Yeah,
are
and
needed.
yeah, and I wanted to say, and I know we keep, because we can talk to y'all forever, but I don't want anybody to minimize their role.
All right.
There are people that's praying, and there are people that are on the front lines. There are people who are making the graphics. There are people that are providing water, and just like you said, don't minimize or don't feel like, man, what role do I play in this? Even because you want to be wise, and maybe your role right now is to just be getting educated on what's going on,
It
right?
is.
That's
Good.
your
Good.
role.
Good.
Then there are people, your role, okay, let me pray, because there are some praying prayers get through. So don't minimize your role, and if you don't know what your role is, just pray about it. God, what is my role? What am I supposed to be doing in this time? And that's it.
Man, thank you all.
Doors of the church.
Man, yeah. This has been such a great time. We forgot
We love y'all.
about time. Yeah, but we can
I
go
know,
all day
right?
with this. I like to say this to everybody who's watching. Please vote. everybody get out there and vote. You know, your vote counts. You know, I hear some people say, you know, I don't like both candidates. Please get out and vote. You know, I'm not telling you who to vote for, but please exercise your
Yeah.
right.
I have some stuff on my Facebook and some stuff on my Instagram, because when we say we don't vote, there are things there. The sheriff is appointed, county clerks are appointed, judges are appointed on those ballots. So just when you say you don't vote, but we're mad about what's going on in certain cities, well, if you didn't vote, that sheriff who don't care about your life, that's how he got in.
That's
because
right.
you didn't vote.
That's right.
I remember talking to Ashley Williams, and she was sharing with me that I remember growing up, we used to see signs in various neighborhoods, vote for so-and-so for county commissioner, vote for. So she told me that though some of the candidates or those parties, they won't go into certain neighborhoods because they know we won't vote.
Yeah.
So they won't even waste their signage or their footsteps and breath going to certain neighborhoods because that demographic over there, they won't vote. So I just encourage us to maybe start looking at on the kind of researching when you see those signs driving down East State Street or whatever street, you know, just kind of see, because they gonna win.
Yeah.
You make sure that your vote is maybe the person, not because they're popular, but because they care about our lives. And you know, and we want people that's in office that value our lives. So just like you said, piggybacking off Cedric, when we say we don't vote, that's how, because it starts locally.
Yes, it does.
Okay, we mad at the president, but there's some stuff going on locally that it's our job to vote locally and make sure that our city is running the way it's supposed to.
That's right.
That's right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you both.
Yeah, man.
Thank you both.
Love you guys. Love you.
Love y'all. Thanks for having us.
Yes. And hey, listen, Skip. We're coming to see you soon, brother.
Yes.
Some cigars and some scotch together.
Quartet Sunday. Yeah.
Lord, he don't need no scotch. He needs water.
Hey, man. Love y'all, man. And to everybody listening, thank you for listening in. I don't think I have any announcement. I think is it Daughter Day or something like that, Cedric?
Yeah, I think it is Daughter Day. Yeah, National Daughter
yesterday? Oh, it was yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
National Daughter Day was yesterday. Well, to all those who have daughters.
Yep.
Hey.
Yeah.
Celebration.
Ari, we love you.
Yeah. Love you a lot. Listen, talk to you guys later. Thank you. We got to do a part 2.
Yep.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
We're going to do it in person next time. I told y'all need a band. Steve and Cedric talking to the band needs a band.
We got one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank y'all for listening. We out of here.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.